Happy Wednesday, guys. Today's home workout is a 3-round workout of 1-minute intervals for alternating V-sits, kettlebell swings, and burpees. The goal of this workout is trying to get as many reps as possible by the end of the 3 rounds. So the movements here are movements that you should be doing or working through consistently throughout each minute. With the alternating V-sits, that might be the one movement where you need to kind of break it up a little bit more since it's very localized on the core. But again, you should pick a progression for the V-sits. Maybe it's knee tucks instead of V-sits, that you can kind of keep it moving and keep that pace and that intensity high. Kettlebell swings, ideally you're swinging for the full minute there. Then for the burpees, you want to be kind of trying to use that minute to kind of max out and empty the tank, because you're going to get a rest at the end or the next minute after that. Then you want to kind of repeat that same pattern, so you're kind of going at a gradual or increasing your intensity by the movements as you get closer to the burpees, and then you're going to rest for that minute each time. Again, goal is to score as many reps as possible, so you also want to be as consistent as possible from round to round. So V-sits, you want to get about 20 to 30 reps, same idea with the kettlebell swings. Burpees, you might be around that 10 to 20 range, or maybe 15 to 20. And that's kind of where you want to score at every time you get into those movement intervals. Once you're done this workout, guys, we're going to stretch it out. We're going to do a 2-minute saddle stretch. This is a good kind of stretch for those hip flexors, those ankles, and again, it will help you a lot with your squats as well and any kind of hinging movement. So opening it up, and also at the same time you are strengthening it because you're trying to react at the same time to that stretch. So you're building some strength in your hip flexors and your ankles as you're doing this one. So make sure you do that one after the workout, guys. And today's, I hope you enjoyed today's workout and the afterburner. We'll see you guys next for the warm-up video. All right, so for today's warm-up, guys, we have the 60, 45, 30, and 15 seconds of Russian twists, alternating gorilla rows, and kettlebell swings. So as we go down in those intervals, I want you to increase your intensity, go a little bit faster to increase that heart rate. First movement, Russian twist, guys. You can use a weight, or you can just go body weight, whichever one you feel comfortable with. Let's keep our legs off the ground, tightening up that core. Hands can be linked together. We're gonna reach over to the opposite side each time, really trying to twist at the trunk as we do that movement. Make sure you're not reaching for it. I like to link my hands together and really try to keep them straight as I do them. Then that really pushes me to twist my trunk as I do that Russian twist. Next movement, guys, for 60 seconds, we're gonna go for alternating gorilla rows. So find 2 objects that you feel comfortable going for single arm rows, or those alternating gorilla rows, for 60 seconds here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into that wide stance, kind of that sumo stance, bend over at the hips so that the weights are in between your legs. And then from here, guys, we're gonna pull one arm up, shoulder back nice and tight, really feeling that lat. Then we're gonna alternate with the opposite. We're gonna go for 60 seconds of as many reps as we can in that 60-second interval, guys. Next movement after that, use one of your weights, and we'll go for kettlebell swings. So squat stance here, back and chest up nice and tall, hinge at the hips, drive that weight straight overhead. As you do those kettlebell swings, guys, really think about your breathing, start to link that up with your movements, and again, use it as a cardio movement to get your heart rate up during this warm-up. Next interval, you're gonna do those 3 movements again, 45 seconds, then 30, then 15 seconds, and increase your intensity as you go down, guys, in those time periods. After you're done that first part of the warm-up, guys, we're gonna do some quick mobility for that front rack position. So find a post, or even if you have a door frame, you can use that as well. We're gonna get our elbow, so this meaty part of the tricep, onto the post like this, and then we're going to push our body, so this part of the body here, guys, so that lat where it connects all the way up into the arm, I want you to get it close to that post, holding that for 60 seconds. You should feel a stretch in that tricep, in that lat as well. You might feel in the back of the shoulder a little bit. But we're gonna go for that 60 seconds, play around with it. You don't have to stay static. As you're in that position, you can also try to move your hand out to the side a little bit, twist, externally rotate, internally rotate, play around with it. Really try to get a good stretch out of that front rack. That will be the warm-up for today, guys. We'll see you next for the movement standards.
The final move is the V-sit. Remember, guys, you can challenge yourselves with a weight between the heel, or you can do a total bar if you have a pull-up bar at home. So for the V-sit, first progression, you can just do a sit-up. So you can get an ab mat under your back, or a towel, roll up a shirt, whatever. We're just gonna come all the way up, touch the shoes, come back down. You can use your arms. Those are a bit too easy for you. For 3, it's probably gonna be a bit too easy. You can switch to a jackknife. So in a jackknife, we start off in that hollow body position. The knees come in towards the chest. The V-sit is very similar, except now we're keeping our legs locked out, and we're trying to bring our arms overhead and then bring the hands in towards the toes. If you don't touch the toes, that's okay. You're just gonna try to get as close as you can, and you're gonna try to keep everything nice and straight.
So for your kettlebell swings, something new that I want to talk about here, you guys, that sometimes maybe we miss, we don't mention it enough, is your knee position. So I will see when the kettlebell's going down, things look awesome. As soon as you're about to shift your weight to go up, sometimes I'll see the knees shift. You may not even notice that. But when your knees shift, your weight is now transferring to mid-foot to the front of the foot. So now I got my lifters on, but you can still see that the weight is off my heels. So now I'm pushing and driving my hips through my quads. So knee position on the rebound is very critical. So when you go back up, don't let your knees scoot forward too quickly, okay? Keep your knees somewhat back to create tension in those hamstrings to get everything out of your hips, but coming from the hamstring opposed to your quad. This is such a common problem that is seen on Olympic lifts, whether it be the jerk, whether it be the clean or snatch. This is your time where you can fix that knee position, which is, for Olympic lift, is that second pull, when you're transitioning from the first to second pull. Now, if that's too complicated, or you're not sure what that means, ignore me, just focus on the knee position on your kettlebell swing stick. Where do you position your rope for your burpees? Then from there, you're gonna go into your burpees. So 3 to 5 burpees, finding that rhythm of what the speed is gonna be. Are you stepping into it? Are you jumping up for it? Play around with it. What works for you? Okay, let's cool off here again with some stretching, a 2-minute stretch of the saddle stretch. Feel free to use an object to support you. It could be yoga blocks. I got my friend Wilson here. So I'm gonna use that to demonstrate the progression. But if you don't need that, you don't have to use it. So saddle stretch here, guys. You wanna start by first, you're upright, squeeze your butt. Notice, I don't know if you guys can see it, notice my hip, I have that tilt in my hip. I wanna tuck my pelvis in before I sit down to make sure that my hip's in a better position. From there, always double check. Can you squeeze the glute? Do you need to shuffle around? Kind of reset your hip and pelvis position. If that feels good, now you can start working your way down. The intent in area focus here is to not just stretch your quads, get a little bit of hip flexor. I know for myself, if I'm not feeling too tight in that area, I actually start getting my groin a little bit as well, just because I'm squeezing my glutes the entire time. So squeeze your butt as you go down. Now, you can use that object behind you to support. Notice the difference. I'm not activating my glutes, I'm activating my glutes. That's gonna protect your low back, so squeeze your bum, keep your core tight. If this feels okay and you're looking to progress it a little further, drop down to the elbows. Okay, again, anytime you drop down in progression, you're squeezing your glutes. If that feels fine, take it to the floor, guys. Squeeze your bum, keep your core slightly active. Hang out there for 2 minutes, find that progression. Maybe you're progressing within the 2 minutes. When you come back up, guys, use those arms so it doesn't hurt your back, guys, and prop yourself back up. And 2 minutes, when you find that stretch that you like, start repeating it a little bit more throughout the week, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.